Karl Marx is often considered the grandfather of communism, but why? Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto, which was the go-to brochure for communists. If you were within the Soviet Union, there was a strong chance you had read some variation of this document. The Communist Manifesto didn't preach messages of bringing the upper class down to lower class standards. It preached a message of bringing the entire lower class to the upper class. Complete and total equality. Now this preconceived notion of communism sounds great in theory, but in practice it has its major flaws. The main flaw is the loss of freedom associated with everyday life in almost every other form of government. Even those living under the iron fist of a dictator have more freedom than those under the communist regime in the USSR. Another fatal flaw within the ideal communist society is that people require recognition for their individual work, not just a conglomerate of recognition. This is backed according to the philosophy of Fukuyama, where he philosophizes that people have to take recognition for their work, and this was absent within the philosophy of the Soviet Union. Now this information still doesn't answer our question: why is Karl Marx considered the grandfather of communism? Vladimir Lenin, the original dictator of the USSR, formed and led within the Bolshevik Party, which was a vanguard party that fought to secure political independence for the proletariat, essentially staged a political revolution in order to bring about a change in government. At this time the Russian government, which was Tsarist, was in a provisional government state. This provisional government was perfect for Lenin to secure power and get the people to back his government change of communism. Now, with this information the question can finally be answered. Lenin's government system was just a slightly revised version of a communist manifesto, with little change. The key thing that didn't follow Lenin's plan for the USSR in Marxist utopia would have to be the forced revolution. The basis for all major government changes revolves around a revolution. Marx's utopia had to have this detail within it. Lenin's utopia, however, held the idea that the nation's capital and welfare programs through imperialist expansion would provide the proletariat with enough incentive to not revolt against the state. For this reason, the Bolshevik Party was formed. Also, Marx never intended for his philosophy to be transformed into a real government. The Communist Manifesto was completely theoretical. Lenin's main goal was to translate Marx's theoretical into a real, working government that was completely applicable to Russia's deteriorating economy and political ideology. Irrefutably, the largest difference between the two ideologies would have to be the way the proletariat was ruled. In Marx's utopia, the proletariat was the dictatorship. They made decisions based upon their wants and needs. Within Lenin's USSR, there was a dictator that made decisions based upon the needs and wants of the proletariat. The difference here is in one, the workers lead and make laws for themselves, whereas in the other there was a single leader that made decisions based upon what they determined was best for the proletariat. For this reason alone, Marx would most likely not have agreed with the USSR's leadership strategy. The whole philosophy of Marxism is based upon leadership of the proletariat for themselves, as a group, not under the regime of a leader who decides what the people need. Lenin created the USSR, and therefore is the father of a nation. Marx unknowingly laid the foundation for the Lenin's USSR ideology, making him the grandfather of the USSR.